Welcome to another triathlon podcast, the podcast that brings the electrifying world of triathlons right into your headphones. Journey into captivating conversations, share the excitement of race recaps, enjoy the humor only a triathlete would understand, and join us as we debunk myths and bring you the bare, thrilling truths of the triathlon world. So feel your heart pound, breathe in anticipation, and get ready to dive into the world of triathlon. This is another triathlon podcast. Enjoy the ride.
We are back again with another triathlon podcast brought to you by Mana Endurance, where we're going to dive into the world of swim, bike, and run. I'm Jenna-Caer, and as always, we got Josh and Fede, and we are geared up to bring you another episode filled with excitement, insights, and the latest buzz. So we're going to have our usual What the F and social media posts of the week, promising some stories that will have you shaking your head and one that'll have you giggling if you're anything like us. So stay tuned, and we will discuss the dramatic unfolding at the World Championship races in Pontevedra. Who would have guessed that outcome? It was absolutely insane. We'll see who shined, who stumbled, and where the unexpected moments were. But that's not all. Of course, we're going to talk about Super League Malibu coming up quickly here, share some predictions, and it was close if it was going to happen or not, but let's jump into it. We'll start off with our own training, racing, what's going on in life. Let's start with you, Fede. How are you doing?
Everything's good. Just coming off of a race over the weekend. Did 70.3 Augusta, which I haven't been to Augusta before, but I love the place. The community is awesome. I mean, I don't know, but I have this thing of ranking cities according to Uber drivers, and they're all were happy.
I like it.
They were all happy Uber drivers, and yeah, couldn't say anything bad about Augusta. The race was awesome. It was tough. It was hard. It was a tough day for me, but I got it done, and I got what I went for, which is the 70.3 world slot. So
congratulations!
Happy to secure that. Yeah, thank you. It's good to secure it early on.
Definitely. Well, we'll definitely be out there in Taupo. Now, Josh, you got to get qualified out there. We'll do another
kick off the podcast here.
Exactly. Maybe you can come to and line up all the interviews. And
I'll hold my weight somehow.
No, that is absolutely awesome, Betty. So happy to hear it. Did the race play out how you wanted it to? How'd it go?
Yeah. So the swim and bike were, if not eventful. Like swim was good. There was it's not a downriver swim. It's totally against you, and you have to work super hard. No, I'm just kidding. It was a downriver swim.
I was like, wait, that wasn't the race we did.
No, it was a downriver swim. It was awesome. It was just a point to point, so no turns or anything, which helped a lot. Yeah, also sighting was awesome. There were a lot of kayaks and people on boats, so to keep us safe, because apparently there's gators in that part of the river. Yeah, which I mean, it's crazy. I mean, for a WTF moment of the week 2.0, there was this athlete who raced, and she posted a photo of that her dad sent to her on the swim start, and there was a gator just swimming right by us. So that was fun.
So some motivation to swim faster. I mean, you don't have to be the fastest, just don't be last.
Exactly. That's what I had in mind, and to not be left alone, to always swim with a pack. So that was fun. Bike is beautiful. It's rolling the way I like it. It's not super hilly, also not flat. So it's very good for the mind. It breaks up everything nicely. And the only thing I have to say, though, I really need to get onto this, because, man, the draft packs were just horrendous, man. Like, not being the strongest swimmer, I usually tend to come from the back and catch people. And the first 45 minutes to an hour, that's where I put the most power to settle down into a nice rhythm and see where I'm at a race. But that first 45 to an hour, where, I mean, just packs of, it seemed like an ITU race. So you had to put like surges to pass, 8-10 people that were like inches from the wheel of the other guy. Which, I mean, everyone to their own, but I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Like
No.
there were refs. No, yeah, it's why? Like go do a draft legal race if that's what you want, but just don't draft. Because I think there were lack of marshals on the course. It was a one loop, so I think it was a little complicated for them to keep an eye on us because they were keeping an eye on the pros also because outside was broadcasting the race, and I think they wanted the pro race to be smooth. But then that meant that us age groupers, we were left behind with no refs to make sure the race was fair and honest. And
Oh,
it's interesting because you look at some bike splits and a lot of people had the same bike split like just by seconds, which goes to show the you know numbers don't lie. So it's yeah.
that is terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. That's so frustrating when you see that. There's nothing you can do about it, knowing that they're cheating. Like that is absolutely cheating. And I don't know. This is supposed to be a sport where you challenge yourself, see what your limits are. What satisfaction do you get from that? Like, I don't know. That drives me crazy.
Yeah,
And
exactly. But
it was a couple of loops, right?
no, just one massive loop.
It was one massive loop, man. So,
Just
I mean,
one.
God,
Yeah, one
thankfully
massive
that's what it was, because if you added some loops in there too, then it gets even worse.
Oh, that'll be crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, but other than that, it was good. My run was meh. Like, you know, I'm in Augusta. I gotta use golf terms. It was like a quadruple bogey. Um, so yeah, I was like, mm, you know, have you ever had that feeling when you get off the bike or start running and you just have one pace and you can't go any faster or any slower? That's just the way it's going to be for the day. That's what happened to me. Like no cramps, no nothing. I just couldn't turn my legs any faster.
Yeah, there's no second gear. You're stuck.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happened. But yeah,
Yeah.
got it done, got the slot. Happy to secure that, and now I have a lot of time to figure that out because I really want to have a good race in Topo. So yeah,
That's
happy about that.
Yeah, congratulations on the spot. That's really great to hear. And yeah, I think we're gonna have a pretty big Mana team showing over in Taupo. Seems like a lot of people are excited to get over there. And yeah, check it out. New Zealand looks amazing.
No
Yeah,
pressure.
it's gonna be awesome. No pressure, Josh.
We're counting on you, Josh. Get it done.
I think I need more than a downriver swim. So
Nah, I
Yeah.
think you're selling yourself short. I think you can qualify for Topo, that's for sure. You have plenty of time, and we just need to find a race that suits your strengths. And that's what a lot of athletes do. And what a lot of mon athletes do, and what I do with my athletes. We just don't pick any race just because. We pick a race that suits their strengths, and that that it's okay with them in the calendar, and yeah, you just need to play your cards right on the day, and you don't need to win. Maybe you need to be up there in the mix in the top 10, top 5, and maybe you'll get a slot.
yeah. No, and I think that's kind of like obviously my swim is my weakest. I think all three of us would probably say the same thing. And if we can find a good swim course, that's a good start. And now by working on my run, that's somewhere where I needed a lot of room to make up. So I think you're right. I mean, if I can get my run down a minute or so per mile, then that'll put me in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just and hope that they don't decide to randomly change the swim the other direction. Imagine. Like, due to safety concerns, we're just going to have you guys swim the other way.
No, imagine that. Just 45 minutes to an hour.
That'd be brutal.
That's why
No,
I was looking
thank
at
you.
some of the times from Chattanooga this week. Full Ironman, 40 minutes. Like middle of the pack age groupers, 40 minutes. Like
I
what?
think it's like 49 minutes, and I'm
Oh
not
my
a
God.
swimmer.
So if I'm going to do a full, I think Chattanooga is at the top of the list for sure.
Yeah.
Good one. Although the run is mean. It is mean.
Any
But
marathon's going to be mean, though. So, right. It's like, but if I can get through the swim, that 2.4 miles is a lot. I mean, that's a
yeah,
big difference. So,
Yeah, 100%.
definitely.
Also, one thing I wanted to say is I tried for the first time, one of our sponsors, Morton, they came up with this new product, the bicarb system,
mm,
which helps, it's, do you guys remember Amp Human, the body lotion that's supposed to buffer lactic acid?
yeah.
It's that, but you ingest it. So, bicarb it has been proven to buffer lactic acid, but the downside was that you may have gut issues or stomach problems. And Morton managed a way to encapsulate the bicarb the way they do with the gels, and you can stomach a lot of bicarb. So imagine if you get out of the water fresher and in a faster swim like Chattanooga or Augusta or Oregon, that means you're going to be able to push your bike power smoother for longer. So but also, FYI, make sure you have the correct dose because it's very weight dependent. So just don't go for the largest dose because you're going to be in the porta potty for a long time.
More isn't better.
Exactly.
Don't show up on race day using it for the first time.
That's something I'll have to check. I think one of those things actually will test before racing.
Yeah.
You're learning, Jenna. You're learning.
Right.
We are learning. Yes.
There's
Finally.
a lot of stuff on race day. Nutrition, oof. Nope. So, Josh, how about you? How's the body feeling? How you recovering? What's coming up next?
Feeling great. It's I mean, to me now, it's like I didn't even run a marathon a couple weeks ago. It's crazy how well the body responded, and after what I went through in August, it's awesome. I did a 2 hour 35-minute run on Sunday night on the tread, 18.2 miles almost, and felt great. My wife was actually like, a song came on towards the end. And it was like Rage Against the Machine, and I was like pumping my fist. And she's like, "You've been running for 2.5 hours. What are you doing? Why do you have this much energy?" I was like, "I just feel good, and this song's on." I'm like, "How do you not?" So,
when it's feeling good and you're actually like flowing at that point, it's awesome. It's the best feeling.
And then the finish line's coming too, so you've got that dopamine. But yeah, it felt great to get back and do a nice long run at a steady pace the whole time, and I made a decision to stay in my zone 2. I had a couple intervals. I had a 10-minute like zone 4 interval push that I did towards the end of the first 90, but I negative split it all the way to there, and kind of worked off of that, and had a really, really good race. I ended up running what I think I might do for my October marathon is just maybe not go after the BQ and like set my new PR and start from there and build and see what I can do. And if I feel really good, like I did the other day, just keep pushing it towards the end after mile 20, whatever. So I think I'm in a good spot now. I'm healthy, and I got a heck of a workout descending intervals tonight that I still have to do. So we'll see how the speed work goes, but that's the plan. I think doing this marathon running and stuff with the triathlon training, I've done a bunch of rowing instead of swimming right now. But a lot of strength work, and I did a 60-minute boot camp last night that I felt really good doing, and doing a ton of hard bike rides as well, and then mixing in a couple easy heart rate rides and runs too. So keeping the balance and keeping my sights on spring Ironmans and triathlons, but knowing that the run work is getting done because I'm way back. I mean, I have a good run, but there's no way I'm making up time on the run until I work on it. So that's the goal. I'm running a 5K this weekend, which will be fun. I totally forgot about that. So my daughter's school's got a fundraiser, so I'm going to do that. I think her teacher's the one that's going to beat me in my age groups.
Oh my
She's
God.
actually excited to go and watch. So that'll be fun. Last year I did it in like 23 minutes. I'm going to shatter that record, and it's on a cross country trail too, which is fun to get out and not on a road. Yeah, the body feels good, and locking in nutrition. Been playing a lot with some salt stick products recently, and I think that really helped me on my long run on Sunday. So just getting it all dialed in and looking at races. I think we all saw the race that got announced in Canada today or yesterday. So almost pulled the trigger on that one already, but I got to see who else I can finagle into maybe doing a relay team. I'll go up and do the individual, but man, that swim, have you guys seen what that swim course looks like?
No, I haven't. So that's
No.
In and out, in and out, in and out. Following like the boat docks or something like that is what it looks like.
That'll be interesting for sure. That's funny you mentioned salt sticks. I just happened upon an advertisement for salt sticks, and it was me. I didn't know it was going to be on there.
Except there you go.
It was funny because there was a voiceover, so like wasn't really, you know, how you kind of half watch your phone, half doing something else kind of thing. You hear the voiceover, look over, and it's me. And there I was like, oh, turns out it was from the Mono team camp. We shot some stuff for them forever ago.
Cozumel.
Oh, okay. But it was so weird because there was someone else's voice in there. I'm just like,
oh my God, that's interesting.
I have a competing sponsor, Rejoy, which is excellent for electrolytes and hydration. So I can't post it anywhere, but it's kind of but yeah, over here, just the countdown to Kona is coming up fast, very fast. Yeah, I don't know how ready I am at this point, but starting to look forward to next Friday. I'm gonna fly out there to at least get some time in the heat and humidity a bit and try swimming in that water without swallowing most of it, so I don't puke during the whole bike ride. That'll be key.
Yeah.
But that'll be something in there. But yeah, I had kind of my last big workout. It was supposed to be on the weekend, but I went to a wedding on Saturday night, and Sunday I was just not feeling good enough for a 7-hour training day. So I ended up pushing it to Monday, and actually usually we record on Mondays, and we had to push it back a day. And I'd like just finished this brutal workout, and I was like, oh, thank goodness. I don't know. I'd be like sitting here like, yeah, whatever. Brain not functioning, need carbs.
Off the bike to a great message from Fede. Can we delay
Oh,
this?
I was so happy to see that. Yeah,
Hey.
it was a 5-hour ride with like 3 by 1 hour kind of race pace to see how everything was feeling, nutrition. But the fun part was it was inside with no fan. So that I know the heat training is working because the amount I sweat was stupid. Like just absolutely. That's one of the adaptations with the heat training. So it didn't feel too bad, which is good. And then had a 8-mile run at like 20 seconds per mile faster than race pace, which doesn't feel fantastic after that, but
no.
enough. So, yeah, I'll be able to do an Ironman. I was going to say marathon. We'll be able to do it.
You got that too.
That too.
Yeah, it was funny. I kept getting all of the memories. It was this week last year that I was in Chattanooga where I qualified. So it's been a while since the last Ironman. And the Ironman before that was 4 years ago. So
Cool.
I don't do a lot of these races. Typically they go pretty good, but I don't do a lot of them. So it's kind of like, okay, let's go remember how to suffer and get this done.
What a good one to do, though. I mean, the first ever women's only Kona. I mean, like, just really going to be cool. And it sounds like it's just gotten so big with both men and women there that the town will get a little smaller again, and you'll have what Kona started out to be a little bit more so. And to have the whole playing field to yourselves is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it was definitely way easier to find, whether that's a good or a bad sign. It was a lot easier to find accommodations, and I've been changing mine kind of a couple months ago, just to be on a Leahy to kind of keep things easier. So I'm curious to see how the vibe will be compared to when they had like men and women going there at the same time. I'm curious to see what the sponsors will look like. From everything I'm hearing, like no one's coming. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But at the same time, I know like 50 women doing the race and a bunch of kind of friends and supporters and people are coming down because it is a little bit easier and cheaper this time. So that'll be kind of cool. I'm traveling down by myself, but it'll be like see tons of people out there and kind of have that support.
Plenty of support. And I think the pro men are going to get behind it too. Like they already are. I mean, I think their championship season's over for the most part, and they're going to get behind this. I mean, they're such big supporters anyways. Half of them are dating somebody who's in the field as well too. So I think it'll be a really cool event, but I get your point that it doesn't seem like it's getting that same hype that it has in the past, but we thought the same thing with Nice, and look how that turned out.
Yeah. I think they just separated it out, and just nothing really is getting a lot of hype, which is unfortunate because it's supposed to be kind of the pinnacle of our sport, is the Ironman World Champs. But I don't know. I still think at least like professional men and women should be kept together at a minimum. It is very, very cool to have the full course to ourselves. There's never been 2,000 women or however many are racing in there. In Kona, usually we're a quarter to a third of the field. So that'll be very cool to see and kind of have our whole day out there. And it'll be nice that we won't be leaving like crazy late. That was one of the harder parts. Like the age group women are usually at the very end. And depending on your age group, you're at the end. So it's like 2 hours after the race starts, you're still standing around waiting to go. And you're like, okay, we just go now. No, it should be
How dark is it going to be when I finish?
Yeah. The only time I finished in the dark, I was like, oh, come on.
How windy is Javi going to be? That's
the worst part. It just picks up throughout the day. So, but actually I was running a little bit late for this because I dropped my bike off at the cranked bike shop, and they're getting it all dialed in and tuned up for Kona. So that is when it was like, okay, it is coming.
It's a real moment.
Yes. And they're switching over my wheels, so I'll have to test out my race wheels before race day.
She says timidly, maybe she'll be testing them out.
It's cold here now. It is like full on fall, 30s in the morning. So I'm like, I'm going to have to like bundle up and go outside and hope it doesn't snow.
It's starting to get here in the Northeast too. I think we're in like the low 50s in the morning now. It's flipping quick.
Ooh.
I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready, but little getaway to the hot sun in Kona, which I'll be very much enjoying for the first 8 days, and then cursing for the 9th day.
You mentioned something that I think we should probably elaborate on a little bit too, like we have on some other Kona specific stuff, but this one's a little bit more widespread. You talked about how the amount of sweat you had in that training ride was a good sign. For people that might not know, can you let the audience know why that actually is a good thing? Sweat is a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the adaptations that happen when you are doing some heat training, just getting your body used to being in hotter temperatures, is it'll train your body to start sweating sooner and sweating more. And sweating is your body's way of cooling down your body temperature. Mm-hmm. So if you can start doing that sooner, you can start lowering your temperature sooner so it doesn't have the chance to kind of build up as high. Well, it will because it'll keep pushing, but it just has you starting from kind of a lower baseline if you do start sweating right away. And that it kind of, like for myself, I know I'm not a salty sweater, which is good. I just sweat a lot. So that'll definitely help in the Kona heat, just to be able to start cooling off sooner rather than later. And then the other part is just getting used to the discomfort in the heat, which is what I've been doing with the sauna training, where I now dread sauna sessions, but they're working, so I'll keep doing them. And help out in those Kona temperatures. It's funny, people talk about the energy lab, and I didn't think it was as bad as what people talk about, but again, that might be because we start like 2 hours later, and I had worse bike time, so it wasn't like the peak of the day that I was running through there. Everyone's like, oh my god, the energy. I'm like, it wasn't that bad. But now I'm reading about it like during the main part of the day. They say it gets like 115 degrees on the pavement there, just because
it's horrible.
Ecosystem.
It's horrible.
It's crazy
because everything's black, right? So it's just heating up all day long, so it's just emanating the extra heat.
And there's some weird thing about where it sits and stuff, where it just doesn't get a lot of airflow or ventilation there. So we'll see if it's way worse earlier. Hopefully I'll be there earlier to see if it's way worse this time, but should be interesting. It's definitely a very bleak and isolated portion of the race, right when you don't want to be kind of bleak and isolated. So talk about hitting the wall. That Energy Lab, I think, comes at like 16 or 18 miles or something like that. So it's definitely at that point where you're suffering.
Yeah, it's horrible. I remember last year, that's where I was suffering the most because, like you said, Jenna, it's I believe it's below sea level.
Mhm.
So there's like not a lot of airflow, so you feel like you suffocate every time you run. And going from aid station to aid station feels, well, to me, it felt like miles and miles and miles. That's where I saw Gu, that's where I saw Philip, and I was not having the greatest mindset when I went into the energy lab because it was like a switch to me. But this year when I raced 70.3 Hawaii, I went over there and did most of my run workouts there just to get over that PTSD because I want I want to go back to Kona and have a solid race and enjoy the energy lab because it's the make or break point, I believe, during the run. So, and it's only like 8 miles long, like an 8 mile long stretch, something about that, around that distance. But if you're able to keep it together, you're gonna be gold. So just don't be scared of maybe dialing it back a bit when you enter it because it's downhill, and then well, you've run it, but yeah, I would just suggest a little patience there and keeping yourself cool and hydrated.
How are the aid stations in Kona, like on the
Every
run?
mile. Yeah, they're good. They're a lot longer and bigger too, which is nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you usually get a fairly good stretch of people kind of going along in there. I've got one picture of me in the energy lab actually with like holding like 3 cups trying to chug another one.
Yeah. I call that the grab me anything there is cup mode.
Just kidding. I don't know which one goes over my head and which one I'm supposed to drink at this point. All of the fluid.
I think there was
Coke
just
on
a
your
picture of
head.
Ellie Salthouse recently when she did one of the races that she won over in Europe, and she had like a goo in one hand, a Coca-Cola in the other, and a water somehow with the goo, all while racing. I mean, it wasn't post-race.
I will tell you, anyone over there in Kona, that second half of the marathon, if you are suffering, start on the Coke and water.
Yeah.
That is the magic like elixir in the back half of that
Settle
marathon.
your stomach.
But once you start on the Coke, you need to stay on the Coke.
Yes.
Because
Yes. I did a 7.3 where I decided to skip the last aid station and I started doing like Coke and water. At last aid station, I'm like, this is less than a mile from the finish line. I don't need it, right? 500 meters from the finish line. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. The crash is hard and fast.
That's where everything has to be like same motion. If you vary your stride at anything, it's like the whole body knows.
Yeah, true.
Okay, well, let's jump into it here. We'll get started with our social media and what the F of the week. Let's get started with you, Josh, with the social media post. This had me just dying. Absolutely everywhere. We'll post it up on our stories, but
well, Jenna's actually lucky she didn't win the social media post of the week with her little Superman gig in the sauna that she's been talking about. But if you haven't checked that out, check out Jenna's with the social media. But she gets 1B. 1A is Chris Froome. If you haven't seen it, put up a post where it is just absolutely phenomenal with ASMR and Froome playing along with the post, like one of those side-by-side TikTok type reels. And there's a model playing with the car and ASMR noises, and Froome doing the same thing with his bike and all the different spokes and and it's just phenomenal. So check out Chris Froome's Instagram account. It'll be up there. It'll probably be one of his most viewed ever. But absolutely phenomenal. Fetty's got some ideas. We might run it back with some
Yeah.
tractor bikes. So we'll keep tuned for that. But yeah, if you're an ASMR fan, for sure. I'm not, by the way. We should have that poll up there. Who's an ASMR fan?
Yeah, it was so funny though. Like you have this model trying to be all sexy, showing off this luxury car, and then Christopher was like, "Factor." Oh my god! And then the turn signal. He makes the turn signal noise.
That's the best one.
The turn signal was the one that got me.
I just lost it at that point. So we'll put it up on our stories, but go check it out. Like Josh said, it'll be on his Instagram as well. It's so good. It's nice when you see kind of pros like that just not taking themselves too seriously, have some fun with it. He's, you know, coming towards the end of his career, and I think he was up in Canada doing some promotion to the Grand
Vancouver.
Yeah. So it was cool to see. That was definitely good. That Israel Premier Tech loves the Canadians. They have a ton of Canadians, not Chris Froome, but have a ton of Canadians on their team. So that's always fun to see.
It's all about the Canadians these days, as we'll get into.
All about the Canadians.
Racing. Just, so good to see. But before we jump to the racing, we will go into our What the F. This one was crazy. I actually first heard about it from Nick Chase, who we had on last weekend. How there is a chance the Super League and Malibu Triathlon might not happen because of a fish. That's not typically something you hear as a reason a race is being canceled, but it turns out there was an underpass that was flooded due to heavy rains over the winter. And the problem was there was this fish, the tidewater goby fish, which rarely exceeds 2 inches in length, but they're protected under the Endangered Species Act. So they made themselves a little bit of a home under that underpass, and you would never think a little teeny tiny fish would be the reason that like 5,000 athletes who have raised millions of dollars would not be racing. But turns out they made their first appeal for like changing the course for permits, but it was like a couple days after the 32-day deadline. So it was down to the wire on Monday night, last night. They had to go appeal to the city to see if they could move forward with it or if the race would be shut down, which when you're talking that many age group athletes and then the, big race that is the Super League professional race, that is a lot on the line. And I know a lot of people were traveling down, especially the pros. You have most of them coming from Pontevedra to hop on a plane Monday night knowing, I don't know if there's going to be a race at the end of this or not. It has to be a little bit stressful, but all is good. The city council decided to give them the go-ahead. They'll be able to make the race happen. A couple changes in there, so it's not going to be exactly the course originally offered, but at least there will be a race going on and they will be able to make it happen, which is great to hear.
Yeah. Talk about last minute, though. I mean, it was multiple appeal votes, and the last one was a tie, like 2-2, and there was one person missing, so they couldn't break the tie. And then I guess last night was like a 4-0 vote. So finally, after midnight LA time, they made it back around. But like Jenna said, I mean, over $1 million is already raised. You got all these athletes coming in for the age group, which is one of the longest running triathlons around. And there's been some talk about it not going forward anyways before the bird issue. And now you've got Super League, and Super League was in charge of getting all of the paperwork in for the course adjustment. So thankfully it worked out because it's going to be a pretty cool weekend.
Yeah, and Super League bought up that race, though. It sucked to buy a race and then have it not happen go forward. But all is good. We're going to have some epic racing, and I'm sure we'll definitely be chatting Super League in a little bit here, making some of our predictions, because it is going to be, so good. This looking like it's going to be a really fun one. But from there, we will jump into the racing that happened this weekend. There was, 1 or 2 little races. I don't know if you guys watched them. They weren't that entertaining. I'm, of course, kidding. We had the WTCS Pontevedra Grand Final, which was... That was epic. Betty, why don't you tell us all about it? What happened? What went down?
Oh, God. That was a race that we didn't expect.
No.
That's the beauty about racing, huh? That we all had our nice predictions and our race favorites and everything, and then the triathlon gods came and hit us in the face with the results.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was chaos. I mean, Hayden Wild got a penalty. there was another girl who got a penalty in the women's side. Was Sid? It wasn't Cassandra, right? It was another girl that got a 15-second penalty for something else. But yeah, on the men's side, the title was going to be decided between Alex Shee, Hayden Wild, and that was a battle. The story that everybody kept saying over the weekend, and we had a French winner in Dorian Connix, who he won the race and he won the championship. I mean, the mathematical reasoning for him to win the championship, it was like a lot of ifs and buts. Like if Hayden Wild had to finish 10th or lower, or Alex E needed to finish X and Y, and Vasco Vilaza, and then everything happened, and he got the title, and it was unbelievable. I thought the bike course was gonna break up the race a little bit more because there was a big, well, not a big hill, but a little bit of a climb. But it kept the group fairly separated, but it wasn't like a breakaway type of course, which I was a bit, not keen on, because it's a world championship race, and you need to be able to make it exciting and give everyone a fair chance. But yeah, the French are gonna be coming strong for Paris, and on the women's side, Beth Potter she won the championship, she won the race, already qualified for the Olympics, and she was over the moon. She was tearing. She had teary eyes at the finish line, and also a dominant race for her. And Rachel Klammer, who's been bouncing back from racing, she finished, I believe, 4th or 5th. But there was another girl from Great Britain, Waff, or I think I'm mispronouncing her last name. But yeah, she's like 22, maybe 23. Yeah, Waff. And yeah, it was a bit surprising to see Gwen off the back, because she had had a couple of really impressive races, and she was ahead of Rachel Klammer, who she finished in the top 5. So maybe something happened to her on the bike or during the swim, or maybe it was just a lot of racing back to back to back to back, just trying to get to the start line. But yeah, it was impressive, exciting, and everything that happened. But couldn't be happier for Dorian Connix and Beth Potter.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have it here. It was great. Pro Tri News did a breakdown of who needed to do what to win the world title. And it was a case of Dorian Connix would have to win the race. E would have to be in 8th place or worse, Wild 7th or worse, Vlasa 5th or worse, and Bergère 2nd or worse. So first off, you look at that and they're like, there's no way in the world, right? Like,
no
I'll
way.
Take that parlay. What do you mean?
Let's see, Wild, they're going to be run. Maybe another French person will be on the podium around there. Like, there is no way you would have assumed that. But it looks like Alex E didn't have a great swim. Neither did Hayden Wild. And then Hayden had that fumble with his swim cap came off, and I can't imagine trying to make those second decisions when your heart rate's in like the 190s. But what apparently he should have done was pick it up so he wouldn't get the penalty. He didn't, and kept running on. But the question is, if he had stopped to pick it up, he probably would have been in the next bike pack with Hayden or with Alex E, who ended up being like 2+ minutes down from there. But it was just such crazy, awesome racing to watch. You hear the commentators trying to do the math and figure it all out as you go. And then we're starting to like, wait a second, like, what is happening? And then there was another potential disqualification of, I can't remember his name now, but there was an athlete who was potentially disqualified. And it was like, okay, is his appeal going to stand?
Miguel Hidalgo from Brazil.
Yeah. So it was just crazy. Like the whole time I was like, okay, no one expected this. But you got to feel for Hayden Wild. He's had a rough run lately, and he was like that close to the world title. It just, brutal. But like,
can't get a clean race. And I mean, even still, like Connix, like it wasn't settled coming down the stretch. Those guys were all still in a pack. Like it was like the 20-mile mark at a marathon. It's like they were all running together. It was like, how? And then he literally got everything he needed at the finish line. I mean, like he was in the back of that pack and didn't make up ground. Normally he closes at that point.
Yeah. No, and he can sprint. Like once he was in the front there, that's when I was like, I think he's got it.
Yeah.
Because that guy, when he sees the finish line, he's gone. So it was fun to see it all the way down to the wire, all the changes, all the craziness. You're just like, okay, this is so good. Like just riveting the whole time. I'd love to see it.
And it was, and our buddies over at Pro Tri News, I mean, the coverage was great too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and listen to the alternative stream at the end too. It's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was saying that a lot of these French athletes really know how to sprint. Like it seems to be a constant with them. Like Vincent Louis, Dorian Connex, Pierre Lecour, all these guys seem to have a kick. Even in the girls, Cassandra Beaugrand, Dion Perriot, all these girls seem to be able to get a little bit extra when they need to. So I think the French know something about sprint finishes for sure.
Yeah, they have a national kind of series there with the super sprint distances and stuff where they do a lot of the short racing when they're coming up and kind of going through development and like even as pros. So I'm sure doing those super short races all the time where you're used to going to just 120%, everything burns and hurts helps some of those sprint finishes in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the women's race not quite as dramatic as the men's race in there, but so good to see Beth Potter. Like she only started triathlon in 2017 and she's absolutely dominating it. That run she has is incredible. Like it's really good to see, and she's definitely put a lot of work in the swim and bike too, so it is fun to see her coming up and making some moves. I'm really curious to see. I want to see her against like a healthy and ready to fight, like just some of the other top names like Georgia Taylor Brown or Flora Duffy that we haven't seen in a while. I hope we have an absolutely epic showdown come Paris.
Yeah.
It'll be great. It sounded like Taylor Spivey had been battling some things on top of everything else. She was just cooked at the end of that run. So it's unfortunate to see that she ended her season like that, but it sounds like she's in a spot now to recover and get ready for going into next season and getting ready for Paris, hopefully.
Yeah, if she doesn't get that,
and we saw Morgan Pearson.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine if that did happen to her, like back-to-back Olympics, not getting the spot, just heartbreaking. But Morgan Pearson, he wanted to get the win from the get-go, and he tried. He took his shot, but he came a bit short. But I was really excited to see him try that. You know, taking the race up front and trying to see if he can last the whole 10Ks at that pace.
And we know he's going to be in Malibu this weekend too, right? So Morgan and Ben Canute, that'll be interesting. That was another social media. Ben Canute putting up the pictures of his last time he did a Super League race. A long time ago.
Oh man, it's going to be so good. I'm wondering, I haven't seen anything for start list for them. I'm curious to see who they'll have down there. I'm sure they're kind of waiting until after Pontevedra to see who was healthy and ready to race after that, but it sounds like they should definitely have a solid RTS Warriors team.
I think that's the one that we were talking to them last week. This is their race, right? This is the U.S. showcase, and they're supposedly supposed to get the camera time and all this. So we'll see how it goes now that we know Malibu's running.
Epic. Well, Fede, we had a couple other races going on this weekend, and actually more mentions of the RTS squad. Now that I'm thinking about it here.
Yeah. So we had 70.3 Augusta, which we mentioned earlier on. It was broadcasted by Outside TV, and we had Lionel Sanders, Jackson Laundry, and it was the rematch from Michigan. So it was gonna be the show between these two guys, but there was a German guy who very little people knew about him, which is surprising to me because he's an amazing athlete. And I actually talked to him before the race and after the race, and he was like, "Yeah, everybody thinks I'm an age grouper, but no." Uh, Mika Nut from Germany. Shout out to him. Maybe we're gonna have him on the podcast very soon, so stay tuned. And he took the win. He's an unbelievably solid athlete, swim, bike, runner. He's built like Jan, so tall, muscles everywhere, and a ponytail that gave Lionel Sanders and Jackson Laundry nightmares.
See that bouncing past.
Yeah. I mean, he was second out of the water, and then he biked, I think, 158 or something, 159, something around that. And then he ran a 112 to take the win. So a very dominant race for him. And over the women's side, we had Paula Finley winning, another Canadian, Tamara Jewett, and Jackie Herring in third place. And Paula was very solid on the bike. I mean, 217, that was impressive. Like, that was 3 full minutes ahead than Tamara's bike, and Tamara can bike. But the form that the bike form that Paula is in right now after 70.3 Worlds and the PTO events and the UCI World Champs, she's just at a different level when it comes to riding a bike right now.
When she decides to show up 3 days before the race, I'll just go to 70.3 Augusta and get another race in. Eric's not racing this weekend. I got this.
It's funny hearing saying like Paula will need like 4 minutes on 4+ minutes on Tamara to beat her, just because Tamara has that incredible run split. But she didn't need that time. She ended up being here by like a minute and a half, and I think she was like 3 minutes, around 3 minutes, just none of that slower than Tamara on the run. So definitely that bike power, and her run is solid.
Yeah, I think she was 4 minutes down, but her swim and bike were too fast.
In the Michigan crews on both sides, the men and the women, it was like they just all slid down one spot. That new person came in and took the top podium spot, and everyone else just went second, third, fourth, because Foley finished fourth too. So it's like,
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
And that shows you how important that run is too, because I mean, Tamara did not have. I mean, I think she was like 2 minutes off her run in Michigan in Georgia. So that right there's the difference. If she had the same run, then you get a sprint finish. So,
well, and backing up, that's tough. A week between races where you're going hard, like not only physically but mentally, just going to the well kind of that often. That's a big ask for sure.
Yeah. But it shows that you can do it, and it can be done at a competitive level too, because it's not like they dropped off. I mean, they were still podium and competitive, and just missed out having another epic day. So, I mean, and I think we had 2 Canadians on the podiums again, and it's like 4 Canadians out of the 6 spots.
It's awesome. Yeah, and I saw those Real Tri Squad kids on Laundry and Tamara Jewett there and stuff. So kind of fun to see that after our interview last week. If you didn't check it out, we had Nicholas Chase from the Real Tri Squad on, as well as Spencer from Project Podium. So really good interview if you want to go listen to some of the development of U.S. athletes. Really amazing.
And Jackson just messaged me that he'd like to come on soon too. So
nice.
We'll try and get him on before Jenna runs off to Hawaii, maybe.
Sounds good. I'm game.
I ran into Jackson Sunday after the race at Topgolf. So maybe he was impressed with my powerful swing, and he was like, I need to get on that podcast right now.
Absolutely. Need more time at Fede.
Yeah.
I didn't know if Fede was in Augusta for the golf course or for the race, but then my Ironman ticker kept going off, so good job.
There you go.
Love
That's
it.
too good.
Okay.
But
Another Ironman 70.3 racing going on with some familiar names.
Yeah, we had another Ironman 70.3 in my homeland, Mexico, 70.3 Cozumel. And I was very excited to see this young man taking the win because he's a Mexican and he's been grinding super hard. Tomas Rodriguez, he took the win. He's also a young guy, comes from an ITU background. Then we had our home and Mona favorite, Luciano Tacone from Argentina, in second place, a minute 10 behind Tomas. And then former age grouper turned into pro athlete, very solid pro athlete nowadays. Justin Riley from Everyman Jack. He's racing pro now, and he came in third place. But it was a very, very solid race, and kudos on Luciano. He had the fastest bike split on the hand, so he just couldn't hold back Tomas on the run because this kid just knows how to run. But yeah, it was a very, very hot and humid race from what I've heard and from what I've seen. And on the women's side, we had Kiwi's Hannah Berry, which, first time in Mexico. I know her husband. So very happy for her taking the win. Second place, Sarah Crowley from Australia. And from Spain, Grutze Frades, an amazing runner, coming in third place. But Hannah was at a different level. She was so strong that day, on the bike, on the run, on the main pack, on the swim. So just impressive racing. And it was a very different dynamic because both Hannah and Sarah and Grutze are Ironman specialists, and they chose Cozumel as a Kona tune-up. So it was very interesting to see the dynamics over there.
Yeah, I guess you definitely get that heat, humidity, and wind, which are basically what makes Kona brutal and awesome.
Yeah. And so I think they and also they came to this hemisphere, so they wanted to get over the jet lag with a race rather than in Kona.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it'd be good to break that time up a little bit earlier because that's a fair time difference, just a little bit. It feels like it's a big time difference for me. Never mind over there.
It's always cool
imagine.
too. And I know Luciano as the 2-time defending champ. I mean, to get back and go second to the new guy. I mean, what an awesome finish that was, and to see him out there in the Mana kit and run the race that he did after. I mean, defending any championship is not easy, and then to come back to do it a third time, but still get second is awesome. But then to see the former age grouper jump up there and the the exuberance he had on the podium and all that, to the point where he couldn't even get his bottle open.
That's what would be cool feeling your first pro.
And they had the big checks too, so it was like a perfect event for him to get his first payday. And it was like big $2,000 check.
Yeah.
How'd you get that on the
Imagine having to pay extra, like $100
and things like that. So that definitely was a Kona warm up for sure. The later in the day, I mean, you get over 100 degrees and not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not looking forward to that. Don't remind me.
So good.
Think about it.
She doesn't want to think about it, Josh.
Yeah, she does. She's got that sauna right around the corner.
It was so funny to do. Actually, I had a specific note from my coach. No sauna today. It's a rest day. There's no stress. I'm like, but I feel like I should be in this.
I feel like I should be sweating every day.
I should be suffering. And
it's tough at this point too, because there are going to be days where you start to feel really good as you start to taper, and it's like you got to hold yourself back too, and you put in the work at this point. And I've definitely had that on some of these slower weeks, and it's like even like that hour hard run. It's like, can I go an hour and a half? Can I go 2 hours? And you just got to trust the training.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen to what the coach says, which, yeah. It's funny. It goes from scaring me by telling me to watch out for the workout tomorrow and take it easy, or start carving out 2 days before a big workout. That I had that 2 days before this. You're telling me to carb up 2 days before this workout? What are you going to make me do? He's not a big carb guy. So I was like, oh, that's scary. That's really scary.
Do you think part of it is him getting you ready for race carbing and like see how your body handles it?
Yeah, this was all about kind of testing some race pacing, testing race nutrition night before, all that fun stuff, kind of getting it dialed in. But man, he doesn't often warn me about workouts, so when he does, it's just like, and he's giving me some insane ones. So. But it is nice though. I've been with the same coach since after my first triathlon, so it's been over 10 years. So definitely nice to have someone who knows mentally and physically what I need, because sometimes it's a head case too. So the mental side of it definitely helps as well.
Yeah.
Anyways, we will move along here. Fede, was there any other racing going on, or should we make some predictions?
Well, there was a couple, like Ironman Chattanooga, 70.3 New York, 70.3 Sydney, but they were both, all of them age group races. So the most important ones happened on our side of the ocean. So I think we can move on to some race predictions for sure.
Excellent. So the big one this weekend that I know we'll all be watching is Super League Malibu. So I did manage to find some start lists here, and this is going to be a fun race to watch. So they don't have it separated out by team, unfortunately, or I don't know. Oh, actually, this might be the athletes in this series. Okay, so we don't know exactly who's racing, but...
Especially after last week, too. Like, a lot of those... I mean, it's the same people that were just in Pontevedra, a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So this time they're going to do the eliminator race, and I love this format so much. It is so good. It was the original format, and what it is they say here, it tests the resilience, stamina, and velocity of the athletes in a pressure cooker environment where field position proves key over timing. I can read. There are 3 rounds of swim, bike, run, with a short break in between for the athletes to reset their equipment. The total times from stages 1, 2, and 3 define the pursuit start for stages 1 and 2 add the times, and that's your the time after you start in stage 3. So each round, though, they're going to kick out athletes every single time. So it'll be the top 10 or whatever the number happens to be in there. Each round, people get kicked out, which makes it interesting. And it kind of changes up the dynamics of the race, because you have the top athletes are just trying to take it as easy as they can and counting heads to make sure that they make it to the next round, while you have some of the more on the limit athletes will be out there just trying to make the cutoffs for each round. So it's definitely a whole different feel in the races. And it'll be interesting to see how they combine that with some of the team tactics. So we were talking with Nick Chase last week, and they had some tactics to have the fastest run split to get some points. That all gets a little bit more challenging when you're kind of looking at those cutoffs and losing people each round through the eliminator format. So it'll be really fun to see how they play that up and what kind of crazy tactics we see out there, because it's definitely a race for points with how much the teams get at the end of the series if they do well.
And it's going to be a race too, whereas like we already know the champion for the most part for the team. And this is going to be, okay, who can win Malibu and have that little tout to put on their belt. But I think it's also going to be, there is some positioning for second, third, fourth and all that. So that'll be interesting as well. But I really think for the RTS, the Warriors, it sounds like they're trying to win Malibu. And if they move up, then they'll move up, right? But winning Malibu, it sounds like, so that changes the tactics from before. Before it was about adding up, getting as many points for the total. And now it's about one race. So I think that'll be an interesting adjustment to watch as well.
Yeah, they'll have some contenders this time. Like I said, we can't quite see the final start list in here, but it definitely sounds like obviously they're a USA-based team. So it's a lot easier to get some of your top US athletes out here. And especially now that the grand final is done, that takes a lot of the pressure off. So it's just kind of go out, go hard, see what happens. And I found after each stage, it'll be the last 3 athletes across the finish line will be eliminated in stage 1 and 2. And then there's also the 90-second rule in effect. So if you're 90 seconds behind the leader, then you're gone after that. There also
does it become a more individual race?
Yeah, definitely. So there'll be 3 short shoots. So there'll still be some team tactics to try to grab those. which definitely makes a big difference. And I'm sad to report no MG at this race, so we won't get some of the the great clips.
Oh no.
He's recovering right now, so no, but it should be a really fun race to watch. These are always great, fast, furious, switching it up, and just curious to see who will be out there and what it'll look like.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. And remember last time Super League Malibu happened, they had an intruder in swim that wanted to cycle and run as well, a little sharkity shark.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And that one's interesting too, because they mentioned it before, but doing the swim, running out into the surf makes such a big difference. I remember one athlete last year did like a scorpion, like just got turned.
I remember that. Yeah.
Like head over feet, just not good. And then just catching a wave back can make all the difference. So definitely look to the Australians, seem to have that dialed in from all the surf life-saving years, and I'm sure some of the California locals will have some experience, but it definitely changes up what that swim looks like if you catch a wave or not.
Yeah, body surfing for the win, for definitely. Sure.
Man, I would fail horribly there.
Well, we had some other big news too this week. I think, that'll keep Jenna happy, and we've got Challenge returning to North America.
Mm-hmm, we do.
Quebec, and I guess kind of replacing Tremblant.
Yeah, and it sounds like it was the previous Mont Tremblant race director, so it's going to be a really great event and well organized and put on, which is really cool to see. I remember I did Challenge Canada, so I remember they had it in Penticton. So Ironman Canada moved from Penticton with all the history up to Whistler, and then Penticton changed to Ironman or to Challenge Canada. And one year I did it with the team. I did my first Ironman in Sweden, flew home to Scotland where I was living at the time. And the week before my first Ironman, got a shout from Macca saying, "Hey, we need a runner for our relay team in Penticton." So, and my mom and family are all around that area and stuff. Like, oh, that's a good excuse to go home and visit the family. So 6 days after my first Ironman, I was at Challenge Penticton running the marathon as part of the relay. And I had a lot of fun. That marathon hurt a lot. And the after party, there were lots of cocktails. It was a great event.
Gotta love the cocktails.
Yeah. Starting an Ironman, like 6 hours after it starts, that is the way to go. I just
there you go.
Chilled. Like, okay, gotta go run now.
Depending on the weather during the run. So I've been part of a relay team on a 70.3 where the runners just got brutalized by the heat in the afternoon. And it was great during the bike. It was awesome. I loved the bike. So if you're doing the run, and this one's going to be in July. So, what is it like in Quebec in the middle of July, end of July? So, and it's a 70.3. I think it's a half distance is the longest for this one. So it's actually at a sprint, Olympic, and a half is what they're doing at Challenge Quebec.
Really fun. Have kind of festival feel. Yeah, hopefully Challenge hasn't really made great inroads into Canada and the US. They just don't quite have the brand recognition of Ironman, unfortunately, but they always run really great events. So hopefully it'll set a bit of a foothold for them to come in and actually be a bigger player in the North American market and give Ironman a better competition, because I think that's good for everyone.
Yeah, that's what piques my interest. You see it and see the like what they do for these events overseas, and it's like, why can't we have that type of an environment? If there's only one a year in North America, why can't it be that big? So
totally.
Quebec, no pressure.
Make it happen. Make it great. No, love it. Were there any other triathlon tidbits or things you guys are excited about here in the triathlon world?
We're just all getting excited for Kona.
So.
Yeah, I guess that'll be the next big one. But we'll watch some Super League this weekend, get fired up, and then, I guess not next podcast, but one after that, I will give you some boots on the ground reporting of Kona. And we can,
keeping your eyes out for one Taylor Nib.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to our last episode here. We may have gotten a little sneaky heads up that she's not racing Super League Malibu because she's busy getting ready for Kona. So we have to say the disclaimer, no one in our camp has confirmed it, but she's definitely doing Kona. Like
she's preparing for it, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think it's going to be so fun to see. I just love her attitude. Why not? Go see what happens. There's no pressure, no expectations. Like, no one expects you to go out there and win it the first time. So, and she hasn't been training for an Ironman all year. So may as well just go see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see.
That is exactly what she says. Every answer. Wicked. Well, as always, it's been a pleasure, guys, and we will be back next week to run down Super League and chat all things triathlon as we head towards Kona.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Good luck with your final big weeks, Jenna.
Yeah.